I'm Gabby, and I'm with Edward Jones, and I'm Summer Creek Bizcom Chairman. And I just need to get a show of hands. How many of you, this is the first time that you come to this meeting? Raise your hands, please. Okay, well, we're so glad you're here. We're going to make sure that you're welcome. We've got a lot that we're covering today. As you notice, there is an agenda on your table, and sometimes, you know, just like in life, we have to be a little adjusting. Mr. Hurst got held up a little bit, and obviously I'm not him, but he'll be down here in just a few minutes. But I want to give you some things to kind of think about as we go and start this process today. And so one of the things that we wanted to talk about is back about 2009, if you recall that. And I'll tell you what, we're having some people come in for just a second. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to give you just a minute or two more. We'll come back to you. Everybody that hadn't gotten a meal already, you can go ahead and get one. Right. And by the way, thank you so much for being here today. We so appreciate it. Okay, and we've got some of our speakers coming in right now, so if you'll bear with us for just a moment, please. Thank you. And I tell you what, I'm going to mention a few people. Is that Shelton Irvin back there? Is that him? Come on up here for just a second, please. Mr. Irvin is one of the coaches here at Summer Creek High School. Last year, he was named the 2013 Texas Track and Field Coach of the Year. Please give him a round. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you being here. And Mr. Hurst, we're ready for you. That's right. I'll give you a minute. Okay, so, all right, we're going to take care of a few other things right now while we're getting settled in. Carol Waddell, where are you? Raising your hand right back here. Carol Waddell, and I'm just going to mention this to everybody. Make sure you see her. They've got a real unique idea this year, and you can go ahead and sit down. You might. So, they're going to be having the project graduation. But one of the things that they're doing that I think is just a fantastic idea this year is they're going to have the seniors do a show, and it's going to be on March 29th. And she's got information. During that period from 12 to 12:30, everybody's going to have an opportunity to talk for like 30 seconds about what they're doing. She'll have more information on it then. So we're excited about hearing that. And now, Mr. Hurst, are you ready? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Gaddy. Again, I want to take this time to welcome you guys here to Summer Creek High School for this Bizcom meeting. I know we have a packed agenda, but I want to say a couple more things about Coach Irvin. Not only did he get Coach of the Year, he actually brought back the first state track championship to Humble ISD. A lot of schools have gone to state, but we brought back a state championship, so right here to Summer Creek High School, and we appreciate the work that you're doing here, Coach Irvin. Thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Right now at Summer Creek, we just have so many things going on. Athletic-wise, we have wrestlers that are going to state in Garland, Texas this weekend. Next weekend, we have swimmers who are going to Austin for state championship, to compete for a state championship in swimming. Girls basketball. Right now, won our first playoff game the other night. We play this week coming. We play Friday at Brenham, against Brenham and Site Fair. Boys going to the playoffs. Their first round starts this week. So there's so many great things that are happening on the athletic front. Academically, we're beginning to put our interventions in place. We know we have the big STAR test coming up with the state assessment. So right now we're preparing our students who may be struggling and need some extra support. We're providing extra tutorial buses to make sure those students are able to stay late and get some support in terms of their academics. So we're trying to put it all together here, not just have a very good athletic program, but to have well-rounded students who are academically able as well. Good friend Brent McDonald is here, the principal at Woodcreek. How you doing, Mr. McDonald? Please stand. Principal at Woodcreek Middle School, Mr. McDonald. So again, you're welcome. Thanks for coming out this afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Gaddy.
Thank you, Mr. Hurst. Please give him a round of applause. He's terrific to work with. We appreciate it. Okay, so earlier, and we've had a few people come in. I want to get the hands again. This is the first time you've been here. Raise your hand nice and high, please. And there's a reason. Thank you very much. There's a reason for that. We'll talk about that more in a few minutes. But for those of you, and this is why we kind of go over this each time, because you know the longer an organization is around, the more beneficial it is to remember why it first got started in the first place. Back in 2009, now there's a person in this room you're going to meet here in a few minutes. A lot of people tease me and call me the mayor of Summerwood. I did not give myself that name. Somebody else did. And the reason that they did is because I do love the community. And I love the people of this community. And one of the things that's a melting pot, it has been for a long time. Now this gentleman that's here later that we're going to introduce, he's probably going to correct me, but this is as close as I know it. About 17 years ago, give or take, is when Summerwood got started. And there's people here from all over the place. About 2009, when Summer Creek High School was built, it gave us a great opportunity to start building a sense of community. Come to find out, Trey Kramer, who was the principal at that time, and I had a similar vision. And that was to build a community that had a sense of community, that had a place where people felt like they belonged. They wanted to be a part of something bigger than them. Now obviously, if it wouldn't have been for Trey, and it wouldn't have been for Dr. Sconzo, this would have never happened. But they opened the doors for that, and so many people in this room have been so beneficial in helping this to come about, because as a lot of you know, the Bizcom wasn't called Bizcom back then. It was a long term that I couldn't even say myself. So we shortened it. But what's happened now is we have the Bizcom groups in every high school in Humble ISD. And so Scott Brady, I see you over there at Humble High School. He does that one over there. And then Robert Sitton and Corinne Price did the other ones. And just a tremendous thing that's going on. It couldn't have happened without you all being here. But here's what's going on. The purpose of this was to develop that sense of community and bring information that was beneficial to people that lived here. And now our community is exploding in a good way. And we want to make sure it continues to do that. That's the purpose of these meetings, and we're so glad you're here. Now, if you notice at the top of your page, and by the way, happy Valentine's Day. I noticed Gerard over here, he's brought her, he's not getting by this being Valentine's Day. But over here, if you notice right underneath that, it says the mission statement. You see our mission statements. We seek to build positive community spirit by promoting involvement, safety, security, and economic development in the Summer Creek area. All of you that are on the advisory board, please raise your hands, please. Okay, I appreciate this group so much because all that they do, and Stephanie back there with the chamber, appreciate you so much. But one of the things, we had a meeting, where do we go from here? Because we know we want to grow, we want to make this better. We came back to people in Texas like to eat. You say, we're eating? That's going to help. And so we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But our first presenting sponsor today is a dear friend, and come on up, Jenna, if you don't mind, with the YMCA. Now, she's got acronyms behind her name so long I can't pronounce them all, but we're so glad you're here, Jenna.
Thanks, Don. Good morning. It's been a while since I've been to the Summer Creek Bizcom because I've got somebody else that comes, but she's at another event. We do actually have some exciting news, and by the way, thank you, Chamber and Memorial Hermann, for allowing the YMCA to co-sponsor this. It's really important for us to be present in the community down here because we do have a new location, and I know Brent was mentioned earlier, but the vision about 6 or 7 years ago for the YMCA in Humble ISD was to create an experience with the school district and the YMCA to provide everybody the opportunity to be healthy, to be fit, to have a place to go and belong. So we're able to do that. We have a director, Elisha Buster, who wasn't able to be here today, but her office is actually in Woodcreek Middle School. One of these meetings I'll actually bring the blueprint so you can kind of see Scott Brady, and I think one of his co-partners were our architects for that adventure. But we have some exciting things going down in the Summerwood area. Just want to make sure you guys are all aware. I did place some flyers on your tables. Right now we are registering for youth volleyball, soccer, and t-ball, baseball. And those programs go up to typically 8th grade. They're great opportunities for kids to be able to participate in a sport, be a part of a team, and belong. All of our programs are volunteer-led for the youth sports program. Elisha's also started a book club. That's exciting, and that's held actually in her office at Woodcreek Middle School. We also have an incredible relationship with Humble ISD. Thanks again to Humble ISD. We have an elementary after-school, YMCA after-school site in every elementary school in the school district. So on your tables, you also have some information about the schools that are really located south, in the south part of the school district, so we can provide your kiddos a great experience after school, and they're safe and they don't have to get on a bus. So really just want to thank everybody for the opportunity, for allowing us to come and speak, and for allowing us to be a co-sponsor with Memorial Hermann. They're a great partner of the Y. But really just look at our website. It's Lake Houston Family YMCA. The Lake Houston Y in Kingwood does support this location until we actually get the building, and many of you may have those questions later. There's no building in the near future, but hopefully within the next 3 to 5 years we'll be looking at a facility. But before that, we're starting the youth sports, like I said, and also I'm looking at Vivian. I know she's going to start one of our boot camps soon, but there are some physical fitness programs or group exercise programs. If you're a member, they're free. If you're not a member, then you can still participate. Again, just take a look at the flyers. I do have business cards. If anybody has any questions afterwards, come holler at me. Again, my name is Jenna Dhayer. I'm the director over a couple of Ys in this area, but I do have a director, Elisha Buster. You can always holler at Brent too, since he knows a lot about the Y as well. Thanks again.
We appreciate that very much. So thank you. Okay, so the next person, I don't know if you've seen this guy or not. He may be fairly familiar. Where are you, Heath? Where'd you go? Oh, hi. You can come on up. All right, so Heath Rushing is a great friend also. I'm not sure, I don't think he sleeps at all, but he's the COO of Memorial Hermann. He also is a school board member, and he is a family man. So Heath, we're so glad you're here.
Thank you very much. It's always good to come back and help sponsor these events that do so much for the communities that we serve. It's an honor to be co-sponsoring with the Y. And just to mention, the Y is actually in the middle of a big campaign of their own, their Partners Campaign, which is an annual fundraising event that allows the YMCA to do and offer services to families and children that couldn't otherwise support that. So I'm a part of that effort, and so I'm on a team that's helping do that. So if you'd like to participate, feel free to stop me at this meeting. It would be a great opportunity for your organization or you personally to help support that, and then help me look good in this fundraising effort so that I can be the top fundraiser. On the Memorial Hermann front, you guys hear us come and talk a lot about the Convenient Care Center that sits right on the front of this building. A brief announcement about that is on your table. And so we're pleased to offer another expansion of services here in the community, which is bringing orthopedics and sports medicine to the center 3 days a week, seeing patients in the clinic. And so we have 3 partners through UT Orthopedics and Sports Medicine that are full-time at Northeast Hospital. Their clinic is there full-time, and they're now going to be all rotating out here 3 days a week to see orthopedic and sports medicine patients. So that information is on your table. One other brief announcement about Memorial Hermann Northeast that we're excited about is the expansion of our OR services. The last 3 years has been a tremendous growth for us in 3 main service lines that drive our operating room: vascular surgery, orthopedic surgery, spine surgery, as well as general surgery and robotics. Our spine program has increased by 20% over last year in the operating room. Our vascular surgery program has increased by 17.5%. And our general surgery and robotics is up 9.5%. So that's good. The problem is when you have a certain number of ORs, that can start getting tight with that growth year over year. So we're actually pleased to announce that we'll be undergoing an expansion project that will bring in 2,600 new square feet of OR space. It will allow us to build out a brand new state-of-the-art endovascular hybrid surgical suite that will allow our vascular surgeons to do some higher-end procedures that they can't do at the hospital currently, and just offer further growth in that service line. It's also going to allow us to build out a specialized robotics room that will be specific for the surgeons that utilize the robot. Currently, that's done in one of our larger OR rooms, but there are some things that we can do to make that a more efficient process for our surgeons. And so we have some of the busiest surgeons using that in the entire Houston metro area, and they're doing a great job with that. So this benefit to you in the community is so that we do not create a wait list for the surgery you need when you need it. And so this new capacity will enable us to be efficient with our processes, efficient with scheduling patients, so that our doctors can work with you to get you in for the surgery that you need at the time that you would like it. So I appreciate the opportunity to make those announcements, and if you have any questions, please look forward to talking with you afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Panera Bread. Anybody here from Panera Bread right now? Okay, can you come on up for just a second? No, okay, you don't have to if you don't want to. Okay, so a shy person, huh? She'll get over that. So one of the things that I want to just brag, and this is Annette, Louise, and Annette, thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Panera Bread in Atascocita, who's providing the lunch today, is also Heath Isbell is the franchisee. Am I saying that correct? He owns Panera Bread there, and also the Carl's Jr. down here in Summerwood. They own 20 of them. And one of the things that I'd like to ask you to do, they are a terrific community sponsor, And so one of the things that moving into Summerwood, that tells you a lot when a new restaurant moves in like that. So please tell him how much we appreciate you all. Thank you very, very much. So, okay, thank you. Now, before we move on to something else, I just want to brag on Mr. Hurst for just a minute. Mr. Hurst is now a year and a half into being the principal at a huge high school, and he is doing an absolutely wonderful job. We appreciate you, Mr. Hurst, so much, and just thank you for working with us and helping us to have this here. We do appreciate it. Thank you. All right, please give him a hand. One of the things that we owe a great debt to someone, and I'm going to pull this up, and I want to read it. You know, I'm in awe, actually, because when you're in a community like this and you get to know the people in the community, you learn to love this community. Sometimes, you learn a lot, but then you find somebody that knows a whole lot more about it than you do. And today, if you remember, some of you were here, probably about a year and a half ago when Rick McCord Jr. came and spoke about Generation Park, that thing that you see down on the panel. It's coming. But this was a vision that was done long time before any of us were here. My understanding, and Mr. McCord can tell me if this is true, the only way you could get down through here before was a helicopter or horseback riding. Yeah, that's right. So let me just read. Frederick R. McCord serves as chairman of McCord Development, Inc., a diversified real estate investment, assessment management, leasing, and development company. He founded the company in 1973 and served as MDI's president for its first 35 years. During his tenure, he has led MDI with his strategic vision of the property and capital markets with a particular understanding for real estate investment. Nearly 3 decades ago, Mr. McCord began investing in land in northeast Houston, 4,000 acres, of which is now Generation Park. His hands-on experience is broad and deep, including the development. It goes on and on. But one of the things, we owe a debt of gratitude because if it weren't for Mr. McCord, my understanding is Summerwood wouldn't be here. Fall Creek would not be here. Summer Creek would not be here. So please give him a round of applause. Thank you.
Well, I learned a long time ago when somebody's blowing smoke at you, never inhale. So I held my breath doing that whole little introduction over here. Don't need to hear it, but you're right, Don. We have had the great fortune of being out here for a long time. We did start in 1985. I know that you must have thought I was a baby at that time. But we started back then, and I had the great fortune of working 7 years on getting Westlake Houston Parkway put in. I had the privilege of helping the county get right-of-way and the TxDOT get right-of-way for Beltway 8. You kind of name it, we've been involved in it since day one. And then we had the great fortune of working in developing Summerwood. And if any of you live in Summerwood, the names that are on those lakes, you know, when you get to do something like that, you've got to have a little bit of fun. And so the only fun, I had a lot of fun, but the fun that I really had is each lake is named after one of our children. So when you go by Lake Ryan or Lake Meredith or Lake Ann, those are our children. Gratefully, they all live here in Houston, and my wife gets to see her grandchildren frequently. So it's a pretty neat deal. Fast forward, well, just during that process, I have to tell you a quick story about Commissioner Lee. As I wrote him in an email the other day, we've been great partners for a long time, and this area was transformed not just with Summerwood, but he also personally took it upon himself. And I don't forget these things. I forget what I had for breakfast this morning, but I don't forget sea changes to the neighborhood. But he personally took on Deucin Park and Eisenhower Park, and he made a determination to make those the go-to parks in Houston, Texas. And I will tell you, he deserves a huge round of applause. Just to bring you quickly up to date, we're still sworn to silence on FMC. As you know, they're our big customer. They'll be groundbreaking sometime in the very near future. We can't talk about their first phase. We can't describe their first phase, but it will be a game changer for this whole neighborhood. In addition, we are getting ready on April the 1st, Mike, I think that's the correct date, to commence $30 million worth of infrastructure improvements within Generation Park. Our first phase, we're going to be connecting Westlake Houston Parkway to Lockwood. And as you well know, the county's involved right now in widening North Lake Houston Parkway and hopefully soon to be widening Lockwood as well. So there's going to be some new interconnectivity going on in this neighborhood. We are delighted and honored to be here with you. Our legacy out in this quadrant of the city and county goes on a long, long time, and we're very proud of it. And I will just tell you that we're working on some opportunities now within Generation Park that will be as equally exciting as we are seeing with FMC. So I would just say hold on to your horses and just get ready for an interesting ride, because it is going to be, we're going to have some fun out here. We're going to bring some great employers to this neighborhood. We're going to bring some great benefits to this neighborhood, and we are very excited about being part of this group. My son apologizes for not being here. He got trumped by this meeting by a call from his wife saying, "Dad, you got to go." So that's why you're stuck with me today instead of him. But thank you very much for being here. And Don, we started Summerwood, I think you said 17 years ago. Commissioner, it goes a lot farther back than that. I think it was like 1992, so about 30 years ago when we first started doing some work out there. Yeah. Long time back. But thank you all for letting us be here today and for being part of this great community.
So appreciate it. Thank you. I knew I'd get it straightened out. So let me make sure, 30 years ago, is that correct? Yes, sir. Okay. Want to introduce a couple people that are over here also from McCourt Development. Rick Yarbrough, would you mind just raising your hand, please? Thank you so much. Dear Fred, he's helping us a lot. Mike Palhemus, am I saying that correctly? Now, I'm going to brag on you a little bit, and if I'm off, you can just tell me. But my understanding is Mike made a world of difference up in the Woodlands with the Exxon expansion. So it was a coup, it sounds like to me, that they got you over here. So we're happy about that too. So give them a round of applause. Anybody else? Was there anybody else from McCourt? Okay, very good. Okay, so as he mentioned, we have a tremendous opportunity today. We have a gentleman that I'm just going to read this because I think everybody's heard of L. Franco Lee. And I don't know that we have any idea all the good that he's done, so let me just read some things here. L. Franco Lee is a native Houstonian reared in Cashmere Gardens in the Cashmere Gardens section of the city of Houston. A graduate of Phyllis Wheatley Senior High School, attended San Jacinto College and earned a BS degree from the School of Technology at Texas Southern, along with related coursework at TSU and the University of Houston. Commissioner Lee served as state representative for District 142 Houston from 1979 to 1984, thereafter being elected county commissioner and sworn in as the first African-American Harris County commissioner in January of 1985. Currently serving in his 8th term as Dean of the Court after some 27 years as a member of Harris County Commissioners Court. Much of the Precinct 1 is comprised of the inner city, and over the years, Commissioner Lee has worked hard to improve the quality of life through the creation of accessible and quality services and programming for the residents in underserved areas while maintaining and enhancing services for the whole of the precinct and county. Not only has Commissioner Lee served the community well, he has also worked extensively on a number of substantive local, state, and national committees and boards. Commissioner Lee and his wife, Ethel Kay, have 2 children. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Don. Thank you and good morning for giving me some of this time to express my appreciation for being your county commissioner at this point in my history. It's been an interesting, fast 30 years from 1985 to the present. As Mr. Ford has alluded to, we've had opportunities to partner, help and assist each other in the development of this area, from mostly swamplands to community development to homes and a viable community that I see is blossoming into. About half of the 30 years that I served as county commissioner, this area was in Precinct 4, and then I inherited in Precinct 1 about 15 years ago with the goal of transforming the park that I knew, Disney Park, Eisenhower Park, taking it back from the city and kind of master planning both of them together jointly. And that was going to be kind of the crowning point for quality of life, green space, improving green space in this area, because it was such an attractive piece of property, 1,000 acres of public parkland that could be accessible to communities that was blossoming around it. And in addition to that, we were able to, on an accelerated pace, get the toll road built at about 10 years earlier than it would have been built otherwise. And that, again, spurred the things that you see now and that you're enjoying now. Having some successes also in flood control, greens bio, and kind of zeroing in on specific problems and solutions to those problems through the attention and through the federal government's partnering and contributing money to flood eradication, and that also contributed to how this partnership has mushroomed and grown. And it's been a fast, real fast, and rewarding set of things to do. It's work in progress. It's never totally finished, as you understand. And it's not perfect. It's like making sausage in the public. But there is relief that you get from this, hopefully, from these things, whether it be the intersections that are congested and try to redesign them where they can handle more traffic, with the widening of East Mount Houston, or opening up Lockwood where you get complete circulation. That is kind of how I see my role as a county commissioner in the improvement and the development and the safety, life and safety of a community like this. And if you can imagine having to have the issue of doing that in about 5 or 6 different places in the 300 square miles and about 1,040,000 people, you can imagine why you don't see me a whole lot. You see Drew Gutierrez or either Jeremy Rattler, who's some young guys that are much more nimble and faster and available, but they're extremely helpful, extremely bright individuals, and they've been an asset to my staff. And I appreciate you giving me this moment to speak have some information. Some of it is dated and some of it will be updated, but I have some information to kind of tell you where we are currently, what kind of programs we do. We have special projects and programs that's interwoven into the precinct's activities, such as competitive swim, summer games, traveling naturalists, kind of trying to spark the interest of young people in learning in zoology. The traveling naturalists will come out and introduce native plant life and aquatic life to young people and have them to come to Houston Park, Challenger 7 Park, in sparking that interest in science and nature and stewardship of the things that we have some control of. So have information like that. Wanted to at least point you to those programs that we have had some success with. They are mature. They've been around a long time. The Street Olympics is about 25 years old. The aquatics program is 20 years old. And there are some other programs under that umbrella that you might want to replicate what you can do or join in to assist and be a part of. Thank you.
If anybody has any questions for Commissioner Lee, he's open for that. Any questions at all? Wow, you did awesome, didn't you? Oh, they're just, I guess they were trying to think it.
No, we were going to ask you about the with all the growth in Westlake Houston, it's going to get jammed up. It already is starting to. So that's on the radar to hopefully widen that at some point.
Westlake Houston?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
all the growth on the coming, and it's already pretty.
It's in the design phase right now. So is eastbound Houston from 59 back to get connected to the toll road, and the Lockwood that I alluded to. It's also it's in a design phase, preparing to be improved. And that does not include what we're studying on immediate problems. Those are projects that are on the board and will be pursued and funded.
Mark, is that your
Yes,
question?
ma'am.
Yeah, we are talking about the east side of it, right? Or are we just talking about the north side of it? Westlake Houston.
Westlake Houston. You have the current information on Westlake Houston? No, the status of whether east or west side. I'll get you that answer.
And it knows the same thing because of all the new homes and development coming in on Westlake Houston. It's just.
Yeah, you look at it. You're a little bit ahead of us. McCoy types have been a little bit faster than what we could put in. Once we did the use of pay system, it spurred in a much faster way, which was something that we wanted to see. Yes, ma'am.
Woodland Hills, Lockwood, are you responsible for that, widening up that, or
I'll-
continuing it through?
I will be, and if Mr. McCord will donate those right away.
You've offered a little public opportunity here, so we have already given the county all the right-of-way. We've already spent almost $1 million on the plans, which are about done, so I think our part's done. And now
That's what makes it a good party, is that we kind of meet in the middle somewhere. Was there another question?
All right,
Thank you. Thank you all.
give them a round.
Before we go to our next speaker, I wanted to acknowledge a couple people. Sam Schrader, you and your crew, you did a great job of filming this. We appreciate this so much. Thank you very much. Also, does anybody in here know when the golf tournament is for the all sports team, or Summer Creek High School? When is it? When? No, I'm sorry, for Summer Creek High School's all athletic booster? Okay. All right, we'll try and find that out. And we'll send that out if we can get that. And so the next person that we want to have come up, and Kyle Urey, raise your hand, please. Okay, we owe this to Kyle Urey. As any of you have noticed driving up Westlake Houston Parkway toward 1960, we've got some wonderful new homes coming in up there. And one of the things that we're really excited about that just got an announcement recently was the Groves. So today we're very fortunate, and I think we got the Nicole Zimmermann. Where are you, Nicole? There you are, right there. Okay, obviously she's not Jim, that's her dad, and so I think she's, come on up please, and she's going to be telling us some about the Groves. My understanding, about over 900 acres. And so, about 1,000, okay, very good.
Thanks, Don. I appreciate being here. This is my first Bizcom meeting, and hopefully not my last. I'm sure there will be many more. I'm the Assistant Project Manager at the Groves. It's a Crescent Community Development. And we're very excited about it, very excited about hearing everything that's happening around here, and hope to be a big part of the community in the future. So just a tiny bit about Crescent Communities. I think my presentation was a little bit overambitious, so I'm going to skip through it so we can keep it short. Crescent is based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. We go back all the way to 1969. In our history, we've developed over 47 master planned communities, mostly in the southeast. A few years ago, we got smart and decided we ought to move into Texas, so this is our first position in the Houston market. One thing that we really stress is not the physical aspects of the community. Obviously that's very important, but like what Don was saying is this sense of community. We're all about placemaking. So for the first year that we own the land that will be the Groves, we went through a very extensive visioning and creative planning process. So we came up with our vision statement. So just to get an idea of what we're going to bring you at the Groves, we aim to create a natural refuge in Northeast Houston where a diverse community comes together to engage in a lifestyle that is inspired by the outdoors, by well-designed places, and by each other. Again, we're doing all that we can to program so that we can be a true community and not just a cool place physically, but a place where people want to get out and be with each other and learn about everything around us. Kind of hard to see here, but this is our master plan. Phase 1 development. Well, first, let me give you an idea of where we are, for those of you who aren't familiar. We're right on the north side of the Union Pacific Railroad tracks. Our entrance is going to be on the left side. Phase 1 is up here in the top right corner. We are currently under construction with those lots. It'll be about 189, well, will be 189, I'm sorry. And we're hoping to complete those mid-summer, so we will have residents living in our community fall of this year. Probably the most important page for you guys, a quick little fact sheet. We're about 1,000 acres total. We're projecting an 8 to 10 year build out. Right now we're planning about 2,200 single family homes. Of course that's subject to change if plans change in the future. The school district is Humboldt ISD. 2 school sites have been set aside. Let me jump back. We have a school site here and another here. And we are continuing to work with the school district to meet their needs. Eventually we will have a 10-acre village center. Jump into the amenities of phase 1 and 2. We'll have a welcome lodge. That'll include a flex space for our residents, lounge, outdoor plaza, fire pit, great lawn, natural play area, and we'll also have a fish camp with cabin, catch and release fishing, and well, stocked pond, there you go. Roughly 1.75 miles of trails in the first phases, and many more planned in the future. I don't want to put a number on it and commit myself to anything, but it'll be a nice trail system. And then in phase 3, 18 months from now or so, we will put in our large amenity center. So overall, we've got almost 200 acres of open space, so we're really excited about getting people outdoors and reconnecting them with nature. We just finalized contracts with builders in our first phase. We've got 3 different lot sizes. We've got 55 foot by 130, 60 by 130, and 70 by 130. On the 55s, we will have David Weekley and Village Builders. On the 60s, we will have Darling Homes and Highland Homes. And on the 70s, we will have Taylor Morrison and Trendmaker. And now that we've got the contracts finalized, we are excited to work with them through their plan lineups and make sure that we're all on the same page, that we're really bringing this vision of the groves to life. That's a rendering of our main entry, just some of the photos that we've found around to really inspire us in our planning. This is a rendering of our welcome lodge, which will come in the first phase. What's really neat about what we're doing is we actually have an arborist on staff who's gone out and geotagged all of the really, really high quality trees that need to stay. So this is not artistic license. These trees that are shown are actually there and will be there. And we've done that throughout all of our common areas. Just a few renderings of the inside of the Welcome Center, site plan, and fish camp. Timing again, we had our groundbreaking on December 17th last year, and we hope to have residents in the community in the fall of this year. We're really excited to be a part of Northeast Houston and look forward to a future relationship with everybody's. Feel free to ask me questions afterwards. I have cards, I have information.
Okay, now, before we go on, I wanted to highlight a few other things as well. Drew Gutierrez, where are you? I just wanted to tell you how much we appreciate you doing that. Drew came up to me at one of the events out in Summerwood and said something about Commissioner Lee coming, and I said, yeah, we'd be real excited about that. So he made that happen, and also in the office, Bobby Anderson did too, and we appreciate that so much. Thank you. And Rick Yarborough, and having it to where all of you can come out, and Mr. McCord could come out as well. We so appreciate that. Okay, and let me give a couple other things. One of the things that is really cool about this area is that with the carnivals that the elementary schools have, those aren't just carnivals, those are events. They're awesome. And so we got 2 carnivals coming up. We'll go by date, and that's Lakeshore Carnival. We've got Diane Aldrich, Emily Day, and is Holly Hanks here? Okay. Oh, great. We're so glad you're here. If you don't, and afterwards, when we have that period of time for that 12 to 12:30, you'll be able to talk a few minutes there, but that's an event that shuts everything down up there. It's awesome. And then also, Summerwood Elementary, Amy Williams, Mary Impleman, right there. Okay, we're so glad you all are here. It's always a wonderful event when you have that there. We just love it. So make sure you see those folks, and there's ways that you, if you're wanting to grow your business, you can actually do that through there. And also at the bottom of the page, you notice the upcoming events. Make sure you see those. And Stephanie, where are you? Raise your hand. Stephanie, we wouldn't be able to do all of this without her. And she is terrific with the Chamber of Commerce. Is there anything that you wanted to say at all, Stephanie, before we go to the next speaker?
Yeah, the Lake Houston Business Expo is coming up. I've got a limited number of booths available. This is a great way to market your business. If you're interested and I can give you more information, I would love to meet you after the meeting today.
Okay. All right, we appreciate that very much, and we couldn't do it.
That is presented by Insperity.
Okay, okay, very much, good. So, and then you'll notice that our next Bizcom is in June. So what we want to go to now is in December. One of the things that a lot of the middle schools have what they call career days, which are fantastic anytime. But one of the things that, and I'm going to let Mr. McDonald talk about this, because they have a very special career day, and they have a very special school. So, Mr. McDonald, if you don't mind coming up, he's the principal at Woodcreek Middle School. Please give him a round of applause.
Thank you for having me today. I'm Brent McDonald, principal at Woodcreek Middle School. Take a couple minutes of your time, and I did notice that in the Grove it said 2 more schools will be built in the Grove. I'm hoping one will be a middle school. Because when Mr. Hurst was the first principal at Woodcreek, I was assistant principal. We have maybe 850 kids there. We're at about 1,250 right now, and next year we're going to be at 1,350 next year. We've been there 4 years, and we have temporary buildings in the back. But I want to talk to you a little bit about Woodcreek Middle School, and let's talk. I'm going to start backwards. I recognize a lot of people in here today. My wife and I are both educators. Angie is the girls basketball coach here at Summer Creek High School, so I appreciate Mr. Hurst mentioning her, because they're in the second round of the playoffs tomorrow versus Brenham. Ironically, at our old school, Cy Falls High School, is where she plays tomorrow night, where I coached for 20 years and she coached for 15 years. And then this knucklehead named Trey Kramer and Troy Kite, if you know Troy Kite, the athletic director, Troy and I have been friends since about 1990, recruited us to come out here, and he sold us on the vision of Summer Creek and the community, and the kids were coming, and they weren't lying. They're coming. And so we moved out here. We have 2 children that are in the 3rd grade and 5th grade, and we are blessed to serve this community. I have a lot of friendly faces of people that I know out here. But we love Cy-Fair ISD. My mother's still out there, her mother's still out there. But really and truly, we love Humble ISD and what it's done for us and our family, and being part of everything. I was the first baseball coach here at Summer Creek High School, so I was here on the original staff coming out here. Then I went and joined Thyrun over there at Woodcreek. At Woodcreek right now, I told you, very diverse group of kids, which is what makes us the best, which was the best part of us. We have about 1,250 kids. But we have 2 things going on real well right now. Our behavior problems are down and our grades are up. We have the lowest failure rate, therefore the highest passing rate of any Humble ISD secondary school. And that doesn't include our 6th graders. That's only 7th and 8th graders, because that's what's published by our athletic department. Because our 6th grade, which can't play sports yet, our 6th graders are at 96% passing rate right now. So we're seeing our kids are really achieving because we have a great staff, a great administration, not including myself. I'm really trying to give props to everyone else. And our teachers do a great, great job of holding our kids accountable, because they cannot make zeros at our school. If they have a 0, if they haven't done a project, the very next week they eat lunch in the temporary buildings during lunch until they finish their work. If they don't finish it on Monday, they go back on Tuesday. So we need those assessments from those kids to see what they need to learn, what we need to teach, what we need to reteach, where they're at. So we're really looking forward to seeing how we do on the STAR test, because our benchmarks so far have been fantastic. So I want to transition from academics, which we were really knocking out of the park, to the next thing we're successful at in the fine arts, with all our UIL, with orchestra, with band, with choir, with theater. Really proud of all of our teachers, and we're looking forward to our UIL competition coming up. We had a lot of 1s, which means, if you don't understand, that's like the top marks you can get. That's where we're at. Then we go to athletics, which is kind of near and dear to my heart, having been a coach for 20 years and my wife being a coach. I just got to tell you, we're feeding this school pretty well right now. We're doing a pretty good job. Kind of, you know, in football, there are 6 district championships can be won between 7th and 8th grade. We won 4 of them over at Woodcreek this past year. Volleyball, we won 2 of the 4 volleyball district championships. When it comes to basketball, we won all 4 of the boy district championships, undefeated. And then tonight, the girls will finish off by winning 2 of the 4 district championships tonight. So I gotta say, we're kind of proud of our school right now, academically, fine arts, athletically, and then we're sending over 8th graders will be here in the next year. There'll be 9th graders that have never lost a game in boys or girls sports. So it's really some great stuff going on. Our kids do a great job achieving. Their behavior is fantastic. Our coaches do a great job. But kind of why I was brought here today, not only to brag on our school, because I see a lot of real estate agents out there, and I think you're doing a good job selling houses because the kids are coming, is I want you to be able to sell to your community that, you know, elementary school, we know what that's like. It's kind of the scary time to go to middle school. What's going on over there? And please know that you have a leader over there, as started with Mr. Hurst, and I hope I've continued the legacy over there, that I'm going to be there. And if you ever need to know what's going on at Woodcreek Middle School, you can either call me, email me, or you can watch me directing traffic every morning or every afternoon, because you can stop and ask what's going on at Woodcreek. But what we do in December, at the end of every year, right before we leave for Christmas break, is we know those 2 half days are kind of, we don't get final exams in middle school, so it's kind of unproductive, and I don't like unproductive time. So on that Thursday before we leave for Christmas break, we put together, starting last year and again this year, a career day, which we bring in about 60 to 80 speakers from the community. So I called Don this year. He brought in some of his people also. And we do it school-wide. I can visualize that Aaron Rodgers career day commercial from State Farm, which is like 3 speakers. Well, we have about 60 to 80 to come to our school. Can I have a quick show of hands if you showed up for our career day and spoke? So you kind of look around. So you have about a good 15 of them here. Well, we have 80 of them that come in. And it's great networking, in which we have the kids broken up into groups of about 25 or 30. And then they rotate every 30 minutes with their teacher to another room. And we have 2 speakers per classroom. And so for that 30 minutes, those 2 adults are speaking to them about what it takes to be that career, what education. Hopefully we won't talk about money too much, but the kids are going to ask you, how much you make? We try to coach them up, but you know, some things never change. But they're 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. The point is, it's a very productive day. We start promptly with speakers at 9 o'clock. Every 30 minutes I come on the announcement, rotate to another session. We do 6 sessions in which they get to see 12 speakers that day. We do have some large group areas, which we put some good speakers. Like we have, I don't know about if you know, but in this community we have retired NFL football players. You put those guys in the gym with a group of about 100 kids, they sound like y'all. So we really use that day to really capture that moment for kids to have conversations with their parents about what I can do in my future. We want to have all the academic conversations possible at Woodcreek, and the future conversations to paint a future picture of what they're going to do in their life. We know that they're 11, 12, 13, almost 14 years old. But we really want to have those conversations, which leads us into the Friday before we leave for Christmas break, which is another half day, in which we take the kids and rotate them through a fine art showcase, which they get to see. They go to the football games, they go to the basketball games, they go to the volleyball games, but they don't always go to the band concert or theater production or the orchestra concert or the choir concert. We rotate them through those 4 groups and then rotate them into our computer labs, in which they go into bridges.com, and then they research the career they heard about the day before. So we try to link it all together before they go to Christmas break. But the whole point there is be productive in what we're doing. I mean, I see lots of people out here spoke. I think the kids behave pretty well. I mean, like I told you, we have behaviors down, academics are up. In my past at Cy Falls High School, which I love the school, those last 2 days were kind of unproductive and behaviors were up. We have 0 problems at Woodcreek on those 2 days. But guys, thank you so much. Please sell Woodcreek out there. It's a great place to be. I'm proud of where I work. I'm proud of Summer Creek. I'm proud of Mr. Hurst and our friendship. But I'm really proud of that woman down the way over there, and this basketball game we have tomorrow night. You know, I just got to tell you, you know, we got to stay strong as a family. My wife unfortunately lost her father 2 weeks ago. And so we really pray for my wife and her strength at this time right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have a little bit of change. to ask you to hang in there. If you absolutely have to leave at noon, then go ahead and do so. But we had a little change here, and then we want to make sure that we get to listen to Quest Early High School. So let me see, Robert Richardson, where are you? Come on in, Robert, real quick. He's the one that paid for lunch, so you might want to give him a round of applause.
So did everyone enjoy lunch?
Yeah.
Good. Did everybody get a toffee nut cookie? That is my favorite. If you have it, I'll take that on my way out. No, I just wanted to, just for a couple minutes, just let you all know, we're excited to be a part of what I would call one of the most active chambers in the city of Houston, I think. There's a lot of opportunity available for not only us, but every business that is located in this region. So I appreciate the opportunity to provide lunch for everyone. And our managing partner, who is Keith Isbell, he's a resident in Eagle Springs. He could not be here today. He's in Beaumont. We're opening a location there later this year, and he had an opportunity to be on TV. So it was either TV or come to the meeting here, and I guess he chose that. But he did send his regards, and he wanted to let you know he couldn't be here, so we appreciate that. We have about 16 locations citywide in our franchise of Rolling Dough. For Panera Bread, we have about 5 to 6 locations. We'll be opening our 6th on the Carl's Jr. side. I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Carl's Jr. We just opened the location here in Summerwood. But we're continuing to grow. We'll have about 30 locations once we're done with Panera, and about 40, I want to say, when we're done with Carl's. So we're a busy franchise group. Our marketing manager is here. She's over at the door. Her name is Janette. She didn't want to come up and speak, so she'll just wave. But if anyone ever has questions about catering needs, we do cater for corporate meetings, events, whatever it is that you need, just give us a call, and I'll have my card outside, and Stephanie also has one too. So I just want to take those couple minutes to do that. And if you all have any questions, we'll be around afterward. I appreciate your time.
Okay, let me go ahead and talk about the next group that we're having. Is Ms. Horton here today, or is it you? Okay, Ms. Horton. Come on up, Ms. Horton. One of the treasures we have within our school system is Quest Early High School, or Early College. I'm going to butcher it, so I'll let you talk. Give her a round of applause.
Thank you all very much for having us today. We are Quest Early College High School, and along with the other 5 larger high schools in our district, we are 6th high school in Humboldt ISD. We are a high school of choice. And when our students come to Quest Early College High School, they graduate with their high school diploma and their Associate of Arts degree from Lone Star College, all in 4 years. Thank you, Dr. Pearson. So, one of the mainstays of our program at Quest Early College is our service learning program. And I have brought our service learning coordinator here today and some of our students. And I really would like for them to talk, because we go out in the community every week and do service for y'all. And we are looking for more service partners to serve in the community. So, Ms. Bobby Rohina, our service learning coordinator.
Good morning, students, come on up. We are going to be a breath of fresh air because we're not asking for money. We're asking to help you. We send about 300 students every Friday into the community. We service over 40 different community partner sites. The students volunteer from 9 a.m. to about 11:30 noon. And then they go to lunch at all your restaurants out in the community while they're out. So we have figured out by collecting online data last year that Quest Early College High School service learners saved business and nonprofits and all those people who might pay the minimum wage for their services rendered $600,000 last year. That's the kind of service our students do. And so we are here to let you guys know a little bit about the program. We have brochures. We didn't know to put them out on everybody's table. But Mr. Franco Lee, we want to be the educators in your park, because I have students that are training to be engineers, environmentalists, and they can do that work for you. You don't have to wait on those travelers to come through. We do this at Jesse Jones Park already, okay? So I want you. And YMCA, I want you. because we can help you guys as well in some ways that you see a need. The students could be out in service to you on Friday mornings, okay? And Mr. Rushing got out before I got a hold of him. I want him. So most of our students, one of the reasons the Humble community is, our parents and students are choosing our Quest Early College High School is, of course, for that 2 free years of college. But a lot of our students want that 2 free years of college so that when they graduate high school and they go on to get their master's and their doctor's degrees, they've cut off a couple of years of school out there. They've saved money and they've cut the time down because they want to be doctors. We have tons of students who are saying they're going into the medical field. And I can't remember exactly, but all of our students that applied to Baylor pre-med got in this year. Now, not all of them are going to take that particular course because it's quite expensive, but they did get in. So we are, at Quest Early College High School, we are preparing the kids for those graduate degrees. And these students can do these things. Couldn't get juniors and seniors to come because they're in college classes right now. These are sophomores. And I'm going to let one of my student service learning leaders, Nyla Wilson, tell you just a little bit about the program.
So my name is Nyla Wilson, and as she said, I'm a sophomore at Quest Early College High School. So for the past 2 years, I've gone out to service, but I've had different service sites. For instance, last year, for you, those of you who know of it, I worked at the Community Learning Center, and I helped some of the adults who are new to America or just don't know that much English. I help them learn how to use computers, how to do job interviews, how to dress for a job interview, just how to get around so that they can be successful in life as, new American citizens. And this year, I decided I wanted to do something a bit more, so I decided to help out my lovely family facilitator, Ms. Rohina, with her service learning. So I go out with Cash Meta every Friday, and I observe the other students so that she doesn't have to carry the full burden of going out every Friday and trying to see 400 kids and who are all doing separate things. But other Fridays, I also go work at the same CLC center with Cambridge students. And for anybody who doesn't know, Cambridge is it's an educational center for special needs kids, and they teach the kids transitional skills, social skills, how to get jobs, and it's one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life because you feel special when you're helping somebody else, and I think that's something that a lot of students at Quest take away from their service experience. They also take away a lot of skills for the workplace, soft skills, like how to talk to an adult, how to talk to your superiors, how to take care of something and take initiative instead of just waiting for somebody to tell you to do something. I know a lot of kids who work at Jesse Jones, such as Jason, who works with the leather, take home the things they work with at service and build it just so they can take it back the next day. And I'm almost out of time, so if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Stay and ask questions. We'd love to answer them. We've got these on, you'll know we're one from Quest, and we want your business cards if you want some volunteers. Okay? Thank you.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we hadn't snubbed somebody on that. So this part and what we'll be doing now is we're going to be talking, each person here has the opportunity now to be able to stand up, and we're going to ask you to keep it 15 to 30 seconds to be able to say what you want to say about whatever you're doing. So I'll give you an example. My real job, I'm a financial advisor, so what I do is I help select families and businesses to help advise them on their financial goals. And then also I'm one of the recruiting leaders, and we're looking for quality people to hire in our firm. So if you know anything about anything like that, please come see me. Okay, over.